Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Now, a year ago, I did top 40 characters that they should add into the Simpsons Tapped Out. Then I did, previously before that, I did my top 20 characters that they should add to the Tapped Out. Now, this is the same list, pretty much from 40 onwards, apart from Ian, I'm pretty sure, who was added. So the rest is the same. However, I thought, well, I don't want to alter my list. I don't want to have more characters. So, well, yes, I do want to have more characters. I decided to do top 100 characters they should add into Simpsons Tapped Out. So this is 100 and more characters that they should add into the game. In no particular order, really. I mean, I do have it ordered from 100 to 1. But really, the only kind of, the top 20, I guess, I would say is probably, in my opinion. But the rest is like, Like, it's just characters I want. It's really hard because I forget about characters. There's so many characters that they can add that sometimes I'll forget about one, and then later on I'll be like, oh wait, actually no, I think that character would be like, I want that more than this character. So it's really in no particular order, so don't take it with too much of a pinch of salt. Definitely the top 10 are in order, but like I said, the rest aren't. So let's get into it, starting with number 100, Disco Shrew. Of course, Disco Shrew is one of the Islands of Dr. Hibbert's people. Main reason why he's even on the list is because we've already got Pamper Marge, we've got the Mad Dr. Hibbert, we've got the comic book Ram. We need Disco Shrew. I think he's the funniest one of the funniest ones, so I definitely would like him. And next to him is 99, Walrus Homer. Want Walrus Homer a little bit more just because I think he's a bit more significant for the episode, but Disco Shrew is definitely a really funny one. However, Walrus Homer, I was very disappointed that they didn't give him to us. Now, it's possible that maybe because he's a walrus, it's kind of hard to animate him kind of walking around your town. So maybe that was the reason. Who knows? And again, I have to say these have to be characters just because they may as well be consistent at this point. They're not high on the list because I would be disappointed. I'm a little disappointed that they have to be characters, but I mean, they have to be consistent by this point. But I still definitely would like both of them. Number 98 is Surly Joe. Just kind of an average guy. I think it'd be cool to get some just average Joes in the game. Literally, Surly Joe, average Joe. Yeah, he's obviously a foundation repair man. He only really appears in one episode, but I don't know, something about him. I kind of like him. It'd be cool to have him in the game, you know? We need some foundation repair in our new Springfield, so why not? Number 97 is Rabbi Rudenstein. This is the rabbi from the other synagogue in Springfield. He's kind of like, he takes like Krusty's jokes, and he's obviously clearly like inspired by Krusty, and as well he was Krusty's father's kind of like favorite comedian, I guess, or like favorite rabbi, so he's significant to both those characters, so why not have him in the game? Number 96 is Emily Winthrop. Of course, this is the character, I believe she's voiced by Tracy Ullman, right? She's kind of an earlier character, but definitely would be cool to get her. I think she has a dog. Isn't it a dog? I think it's like a dog training school that's not been added yet, so there's a perfect building combo there. Number 95 is Gabriel. He kind of just like randomly like guest stars in an episode where he's sort of like counseling the Simpsons family. He has got this kind of prophetic sort of veneer about him, but like I don't know. I thought he was quite cool, so it'd be awesome to get him in the game. So he's number 95, Gabriel. Number 94 is Mr. Thai. He obviously owns Mr. Thai, U-Thai now, I think it's called. It's a Thai restaurant. Yeah, he's just this kind of quirky dude who owns a restaurant, but it would be awesome to get him as a full playable character in the game. Number 93 is Colin, of course from the The Simpsons movie. Yeah, he's like one of the most significant Simpsons movie characters that's yet to be added, so definitely would be cool to get him. I do think he did make an appearance in some other episodes as well, but yeah, he's a little generic in terms of the movie, but it's more just the fact that he was quite significant in the movie that I sort of I would like him in the game. Number 92 is Howard Jr. and Howard Sr. Now, Howard Jr. is probably the one that I want more so, but I thought I'd throw in Howard Sr. as well. Of course, Howard Sr. was the older person who ran Howard's Flowers in the earlier seasons, and then I'm pretty sure Howard Jr. references that his dad is dead, so it can be implied that between like some period, Howard Sr. died and Howard Jr. took over the business. Now, we do already have Howard's Flowers in the game, so I do think for that reason alone, they should definitely both be added. However, what building could they be added with? Well, there's also future Howard's Flowers that's yet to be added. It's like a future version of their company, so they could be added with that, or one could be chucked in a prize track. I do have an event coming up that has both of them thrown in there, but yeah, could be cool to get both of them. Number 91 is Saint Peter. He's like a significant heaven character that we haven't got yet. Very odd that we didn't get him in the Clash of Creeds event, because he sort of fitted in as like a perfect character to chuck in there. He's kind of like the guy who runs the gates of heaven. Obviously, the actual Saint Peter from Bible history, I guess. Yeah, so significant character. Made multiple appearances throughout the show, so definitely worth adding for sure. Number 90 is Joe from Shelbyville. They probably have to call him Joe from Shelbyville because now we've already got a Joe in the game that's just called Joe. So they could just call him Joe from Shelbyville. I think that would work. Or Shelbyville Joe. Or if you want, you can call him Shelbyville Mo, even though his name's not Mo. But you could just call him Shelbyville Mo, and then as a way of getting around the fact we already have a character called Joe in the game. But yeah, he runs Joe's. Again, main reason why I want him is because we've got his building, we've got his business in the game. I don't see why we shouldn't have him. And I want him a little bit more than the Speedy Mart clerk, just because he actually has a name, and yeah. Number 89 is Timothy Lovejoy Sr. This is, of course, Lovejoy's father. Main reason why I want him in the game, I like to complete families. So I think it'd be cool to get Timothy Lovejoy's dad. Why not? Help to complete that sort of family and bring it together. So yeah, nothing much more than that. Just it's the only reason. Number 88 is Dan Gillick. This is the guy that he kind of takes over the mafia for a little bit. He's the mafia's accountant. And yeah, he takes over the mafia for a little bit. Kind of goes wrong. He goes a bit crazy. Yeah, I mean, the episode's okay. I don't think it's a great episode or anything, but he's a significant enough Mafia character that I think it warrants to add him. I really like the Mafia characters for the most part. I think they're all really cool, so it'd be another great one to add to the Wise Guys collection. Number 87 is Hibbert's Kids. And I'm just going to branch these all as one. So, of course, we have JJ Hibbert, we have Hibbert's daughter, and we have Hibbert's older son. So, yeah, main reason why I want them in the game. Again, completing family. I think that's important. They're also characters that show up quite a lot. JJ Hibbert is the only one who's actually been named thus far, and it took a long time to actually finally give him a name. Hibbert's daughter, she's made loads of appearances too. These two have made the most, but Hibbert's older son has definitely made a few appearances too, quite a lot of appearances as well. There is a kind of fourth and fifth Hibbert kid as well. There is a baby, like a baby, Hibbert's baby that he has for like an episode that makes an appearance where Hibbert has like a baby son. And there's also another daughter that appears in like a dinner scene. However, I think the daughter we can forget about the daughter and the baby, to be honest, just because they're only seen in one episode each. These three, though, are seen in multiple episodes, so I can definitely say that these three are definitely like Hibbert's canon kids. So I'd like all of them. And they could maybe joke around with the fact that you know, these two don't have names. That could work. Number 86 is the Mugger. So he does kind of appear in the game already in the form of an animation with Marge, but I don't know, there's something about him. I feel like he should be a full playable character. Now, it's not like unheard of. In the past, we've had characters who've appeared in animations and that we've got in the game. Actually, another character, Hibbert's daughter, actually appears in an animation as well with Lindsay Nagel. So, to be fair, she's kind of already in the game too. But the Mugger, yeah, he's an animation, but I would like him as a full playable character. Bit of a shame that they haven't added him thus far, but they definitely can add him in the future. Number 85 is Professor Lombardo. This is Marge's professor, I believe. Yeah, he's made quite a few appearances in the background on that, and of course is the episode where he's significant in. I don't know, he's kind of charismatic. I think he's cool looking, so definitely a character I would like in the game. Number 84 is Tammy, of course, the... what are they called? The red cherry tomatoes, is it? I think red cherry tomatoes or whatever it is. Red cherry tomato club. Yeah, main reason why I want her significant in an episode. I feel like an Easter character. She could really work for that. Or if they wanted to do like a episode tie-in based on the episode she's in, that could work. I don't know. I just think she's significant enough. She's kind of one of those Marge friend characters. They definitely could do a lot with the whole cherry red tomatoes thing as well. And yeah, I think she's somewhat interesting. Number 83 is Jenny. This is, of course, another one of Bart's kind of girlfriends, as well as Milhouse, I think, kind of... Does she become like a Milhouse girlfriend? Oh, no, is that another one? I think that's Samantha Stanky, right? They're all a bit generic, but I don't know. Jenny had something about her, because obviously Bart was trying not to reveal himself as like a bad boy. He wanted to, he would try and be like a good kid, or pretend like he's a good kid. So that angle kind of made it a little bit unique. So they definitely could do something interesting with that. Number 82 is the ballet teacher. I don't know, I really like the ballet episode. I think it's a bit underrated. That whole like subplot is a bit underrated in my opinion. I think it's quite interesting. It's kind of like it is like a bit, what's it called? What's his name? Billy Elliot. Billy Elliot? Is that it? Is that the thing I'm thinking of? The ballet? Is that ballet? Whatever. But yeah, I like that subplot, and I think the ballet teacher is very interesting, so it could be cool to get her in the game. Plus, I think we need more teachers in the game, so why not chuck her in there? Number 81 is Toshiro. Of course, he works in the Happy Sumo. Yeah, Happy Sumo? Yeah, he works in the Happy Sumo. He's kind of like a sushi chef, so definitely would be cool to get him. He's made quite a few appearances. And of course, the master sushi chef, I would like more so. He's got a bit more character with him. He's kind of like, although he doesn't have a name, he's like, obviously the guy who's in charge. He's the one who's like skilled. He's the one who's able to do the puffer fish and cut the puffer fish up. And of course, he also had a relationship with Edna Krabappel, which was kind of weird that maybe they could explore. Number 89 is Buddy Hodges. Buddy Hodges is, of course, the original actor who played Fallout Boy. So it's very odd that he's not been added yet in a superhero event. I definitely think a perfect event to add him in would definitely be a superhero event. If they were to do something like that, they could time in pretty well. So, yeah, Buddy Hodges is number 79. Number 78 is Les Moore. Of course, this is Santa's Little Helper's original owner. Main reason why I want him. That reason pretty much there. Plus, he also, as well as appearing in season 30, I think, or 31, one of those, in The Way of the Dog, he appears in the Old Yellow Belly, is it? Yellow Belly, the one where Santa becomes Duff mascot, and of course, he appears in the very, very first episode too. Number 77 is Helen Fish. She is, of course, the organ player for the organ in the church. And yeah, she's made quite a few appearances. She kind of was absent for a while, but then she reappeared in like a recent episode or a few seasons ago. So yeah, why not add her? She's only really ever been seen sitting down, but it could be cool to get her as a full playable character. 76, I can't even read. 76 is Seth and Muchie. These are the two hippies that of course run the hippie farm, the groovy farm, whatever it's called, where Homer kind of revisits briefly to learn his middle name is Jay. Of course, as well, it's sort of implied that these two had a kind of, I guess, like a sexual relationship with Mona. Yeah, they could do something with that, or they could sort of explore the whole hippie stuff. Again, a hippie update would be perfect for them, or they could always do like an update based on the episode they're in, like an episode tie-in sort of update. Would be okay with these two being a 2-in-1. I think I'd be happy enough with them just because their characters aren't too distinguishable. Or they could be two separate characters. Either one I'd be cool with. Royce Lumpkin is number 75. Of course, this is Lorleen's father. Main reason why I think he's important is because he's kind of relevant for the Lorleen story. And I feel like, yeah, we could definitely get like another Lorleen event. That could be cool. As well, there's like a bunch of like the trailer park she lives at and stuff has not yet been added in the game, plus the record studio that she goes to record her album or her single, whatever it was. There's a few buildings kind of around Lorleen that haven't been added yet, and I think they could definitely do like a mini event based on that, and they could chuck in Royce Lumpkin into the store or the prize track. 74 is Joey Crusher and Low Blow. These are, of course, Mr. Burns' goons. Main reason why I want them added, that really. They made a fair amount of appearances, and yeah, they're significant, I feel. Definitely would prefer them as a 2-in-1. Don't think there's enough character to add them as two separate ones for me. Number 73 is Sir Oinks-a-Lot, and yes, I would like him as a full playable character. Of course, he is the Springfield AMA. Is it AMA? The other university, anyway, not Springfield University, the rival university. He's the mascot for that university, basically. So he'd be perfect to come with that building. I would actually like him to be fully playable, just because I think, again, when it comes to animals, if they have like a significant role and they're somewhat kind of sentient, I feel like they should be allowed to have tasks. And I feel like Sir Oinks-a-Lot fits that criteria for me. Number 72 is Evelyn Peters. Of course, she appears in the Chanel episode where Marge has her suit. Yeah, she's kind of like snobby and rude and prudish, but I don't know. I still think she'd be a very interesting character to chuck in. Definitely one I would like. Plus, her character thing has already been made. Number 71 is Cyrus Simpson. Really odd that he's not yet been added in a Christmas update. Of course, he is a perfect Christmas character because he appears in a Christmas episode alongside Abe, where Abe sort of thinks he's dead and he gets deserted on a desert island with Burns. And then by the end, we find out he's all okay and he's married a bunch of island natives. Basically, I forget what it was. Is it Tahiti? Something like that. Not Tahiti. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, he's kind of Abe's brother, although it's arguable how canon that is. But still, I think it'd be he's significant enough to add, and I personally would really like to see him be added. So yeah, that's Cyrus Simpson, number 71. Number 70 is Dr. Babcock. This is the NASA scientist guy, and very odd that they never added him in the Deep Space Homer. I think a follow-up for the Deep Space Homer update could be really interesting to do, just because there is a few more buildings and decorations that they definitely could add from the Deep Space Homer episode, for sure. So, and he'd be a character that they could throw in there. And as well as that, Jack Stillwater, who is, of course, the sort of, I guess, like the commander of NASA or whatever, or that he runs at least that particular base anyway. And yeah, I think he's quite sort of really interesting character, so it could be cool to get him in the game too. So that's Jack Stillwater at 69. 68 is Mervyn Monroe. This is the guy who runs the tattoo parlor in the Springfield Mall. Of course, he appeared in the very, very first episode, and he's the brother to Marvin Monroe. So definitely would be awesome to get him in the game. Number 67 is Nibbles, and I chucked in Mrs. Nibbles as well, but Nibbles mainly. Nibbles is the school hamster. He's made multiple appearances. I think a Christmas update would be perfect for him, just because he, in this Skinner Sense of Snow, he's kind of the hero of that story. And so definitely would love a Nibbles to be added as a full playable character. Mrs. Nibbles, I just threw her in as a bonus. I would like these to be separate just because Nibbles is more significant. But Mrs. Nibbles has made like 2 appearances. One in her very first appearance where she appears like Jacqueline Kennedy. Or wasn't? Yeah, Jacqueline Kennedy? Yeah. And she also appears at Mr. Nibbles' kind of wake, and she's in like all black, like sort of mourning mourning Nibbles' death. So obviously Nibbles has been killed off in the show. However, they've added dead characters before, so I would like both of these guys in the game. Number 66 is King Toot. This is the guy who kind of, I guess, retroactively owns King Toots. Although there is another guy who runs it before him, but yeah, he's like in the modern episodes he kind of runs it. Main reason why I want him is that really he kind of runs King Toots, which is quite a significant building in the game, and we've had it for a while, so let's chuck him in there. Why not? King Toot. And this is the guy. I think this is the guy who actually runs it, right? Is this the guy or is it someone else? I think there's someone else actually. No, this isn't the guy. This is Joey Jojo Shabadoo? Joey Jojo Sabadoo, or Joey Jojo. This is like another kind of huge ass joke character where, yeah, I don't know. He only really makes one appearance, but it was a funny little meme. And huge ass I thought was actually a funny character. So I think this guy could also be like really hilariously added to the game as well. So why not? Number 64 is Smitty. This is one of the nuclear power plant workers, a very significant one. He's appeared in many, many seasons, in the background mostly, but definitely significant for that reason, so I would love him to be added into the game. Number 63 is Smiling Joe Fission. This is, of course, the mascot for the Springfield power plant. However, there is like an actual proper mascot that we see in Undercover Burns, and so they could add that version of him where the mascots are kind of like walking around. I think it's a guy in a suit, or I think it's meant to be that, but it looks kind of like, yeah, I think that one would be the best one to be added. So yeah. Number 62 is Jack Marley. This is sort of retired nuclear power plant worker. He appears in the Spruce Caboose. That's where that building comes from, where he's kind of got his retirement party. But he seems to like not want to retire, so that could be something they could play with. But yeah, he's made multiple appearances after his debut episode and after he retired from the power plant. So why not add him into the game? Number 61 is Mrs. Sampson. This is, of course, the mother to Gerald Sampson, aka the Unibrow baby. Yeah, she's made lots of appearances. I like to complete families. That's the main reason. They could have Mr. I probably should have chucked in Mr. Sampson as well, actually, thinking about it, but whatever. Mr. Sampson could be added too, but there you have it, Mrs. Sampson. Number 60 is Brad Goodman. He's kind of like this self-help, live free, live carefree sort of guy. Of course, I recently did an update including him in that, so go check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, I don't know. I like his appearance. I think he's an interesting character. You know, he's kind of like one of those weird celebrity types that we got in The Simpsons. So I would like him as a full playable character in the game. Number 59 is the Clav Kalash man. So this is the guy who runs the Clav Kalash stand. Now, we already have like the little stand in the game or the little cart, but we don't have the actual Clav Kalash building, which later on it's revealed that he's like turned it into an empire. Like it's a full-on proper restaurant now. So we could get that building with this guy. I know he doesn't have a name. He doesn't need a name. He's significant enough in his own right. Number 58 is Juliet Hobbs. Really odd they haven't added her yet, considering we've got like a bunch of stuff like around her. Now, obviously we got the what's it called? Princess Helvetica, is it? With the Equestria Castle. Like we've got that, which kind of Juliet Hobbs helps to create. And then we got like all the creatures, like the Kernimon and the goblins and all that, which are all sort of around the whole magic, her episode essentially. And it's just weird that we never got Juliet Hobbs actually added as well. So for me, it's more kind of like, I feel like it's necessary at this point in the game. The fact we haven't got her yet is a bit silly. So yeah, I think she should be added for that reason. Number 57 is Francine. Of course, she is a bully for Lisa. Yeah, it'd be cool to get some more school kids in the game. I think she has a significant enough episode. I think she's an interesting character, and I definitely think there's plenty you can do with her quest. So, yeah, for me, I definitely think it'd be cool to add her in the game. Number 56 is Dr. Foster. This is a character who was, like, very significant to Ned Flanders, like, early on in, like, sort of earlier Ned episodes. This guy sort of spanked Ned into being the nice guy he is. So yeah, it's odd that we never got him with the what's it called, the Calmwood mental facility, whatever it's called, that asylum, whatever it is, that place. That's where he works, but they could always add him with something else. Yeah, for me, Dr. Foster is definitely one I would like in the game for sure. So he's 56. Number 55 is Grizzly Sean. He's one of the LGBT characters that I'm a bit disappointed they haven't added yet. There's definitely more sort of significant LGBT characters I want, but Grizzly Sean, I don't know, there's something about him. Maybe it's his name, maybe it's his look, the fact he looks like, you know, a guy you want to like avoid completely, but then he's like the most sweetest guy ever. Yeah, I really want Grizzly Sean in the game. No, 55. 54 is Freddy. This is like a personal one for me. There's something about this kid. I remember I like saw him in an episode. I thought, the animation on that character is so odd, and I thought that. And then I tried to like search it up, and eventually I found out that he has a name. He's called Freddy. He's not just like a random background character. And then I started learning about him, how like he was like forgotten. Eventually they just stopped putting him in episodes. Maybe it's something to do with his animation, but like he looks okay in this one, but there's some really, really freaky looking Freddys in some appearances. But yeah, for me, Freddy is maybe just like a weird sort of personal favorite, but I would really like Freddy in the game, so he's 54 for me. Number 53 is Chloe Talbot. She is, of course, like this news journalist character who Lisa sort of befriends for a little bit, and then they're put in danger when they're at Mount Springfield. Mount Springfield would be a perfect kind of decoration for her to come with, or I think there's like a journalist club or something she could come with as well. Yeah, I don't know. I found her interesting enough to chuck in there, so why not have her be thrown into an event or something. Number 52 is Kuna and Spud. Definitely the carnival event was a missed opportunity to add these two guys. I'm really disappointed that we haven't got these two yet. I think there's been so many opportunities to add them. Krusty Land would have been great because, of course, they added their ring toss game into the game anyway. Like, we've already got the building that they would come with in Krusty Land, so why they weren't added at Krusty Land, I don't know. Because we got the mascots, but we never got any characters really for Krusty Land, apart from when they did that level that was sort of all based on Krusty Land. But yeah, Krusty Land was a missed opportunity. The recent Circus update was a missed opportunity. There's got to be a time we get Cooler and Spud. I think if they really hone in on a carnival event, which I have done recently, that could be the perfect opportunity to add them. But I do hope we do get them, because they are two characters I would really like in the game. And I think they should be separate, because they're more, you know, they've got their own own sort of differing personalities. Maya, is it Maya? I think it's Maya. Number 51 is Maya. Of course, Maya is definitely one of the more significant Moe's sort of love interests. I found her really interesting. I thought she's a really great character, at least in the first episode. I haven't seen her more recent appearance. I've heard not great things about it though, so we'll have to see. For me, Maya is definitely just one I really want in the game. I think she's pretty sweet, at least from her first appearance and the episode she's in. Yeah, so I think her and Moe make a great couple as well, so it's a missed opportunity, but there you have it. Maya, 51. Number 50 is Apu's mother. I like her appearance. I think it was pretty funny, and I think she's like just another member of Apu's family, really, that would be great to get in the game. So, not really much more to say. For me, it's the only reason, really. Apu's mother. Why not? Number 49, God, I can't read, is Bubbles. Now, Bubbles is the main elf from the Happy Little Elves gang. I do want the Happy Little Elves to be added as separate characters. I know we do have like a Happy Little Elves crowd, and we of course have like little animations that include the Happy Little Elves, but I would like Bubbles as a full playable character. I think he's significant enough. You know, he's the more significant sort of out of all of the Happy Little Elves. I think he should be added as a proper full playable character, at least for me. Number 48 is Malibu Stacy, and I know, yes, she's a doll, but I would, again, just like with Bubbles, I think she should be added as a proper full playable character. With tasks, animations, the works. So yeah, that's number 48 for me, Malibu Stacy. Number 47 is Carl, of course. This guy, I love this guy. Of course, he's voiced by Harvey Fierstein. He's Homer's little assistant in season 2 of The Simpsons. Yeah, great guy all around. So definitely would be great to add him in. I think an LGBT event would be perfect to add him in to. Or if they were just to do some like Springfield power plant event, they could chuck him in there too. Number 46 is Scott Christian. This is, I think I spelled Christian wrong. Have I? I don't know. It doesn't look right. Maybe I have. I don't know. Scott Christian is, of course, one of the news anchors for Channel 6. He's sort of a pretty significant guy. He kind of fills in for Kent occasionally. And yeah, for that reason, I think it's a travesty he's not been added yet. But no, in all seriousness, would be cool to get him. Number 45 is... you'll have to forgive me. I can't pronounce this name. But this is Sanjay's... I'm not going to... I'll just butcher it. I should have prepared. So I'm not going to say it. But this is Sanjay's daughter, a.k.a. Apu's niece. Pretty significant. She's made multiple appearances. Definitely would like to see her in the game. I think she's pretty significant to Apu's family. She's obviously Sanjay's daughter. So yeah, let's throw her in the game. Why not? We've already got Jay, or Jashmed, who's already in the game. Although they kind of did age him up, which is really weird. But still, we should get her in the game too. Number 44 is Quimby's bodyguards. Now, I know that they have been named in the past, and sometimes they look different. Sometimes, like, they appear to be different. But the more kind of common guy, these two are the, like, sort of common two. I would like these two in the game, just as a sort of 2-in-1 character. The Springfield Municipal, can't say it, that building, perfect thing for them to come with. Yeah, they could definitely have some interesting quests with them really badly not protecting Quimby. Some interesting animations could be thrown in there too. So for me, they are definitely two pretty significant characters to be thrown in there. Again, as a 2-in-1. Number 43 is Madame Wu. I think a sort of China event or an around the world event would be great to chuck her in there. Of course, she runs the adoption agency in China where Selma wants to adopt a daughter. She kind of interferes, but yeah, I don't know. I think she's a cool character. She kind of has that thing where she like rolls up in the tank and stuff. So there's definitely some great animations they could give her. Number 42 is the Human Fly. Again, another sort of superhero character. For me, he's just so quirky and so random. he's just like this idiot who's like scaling a building. And that building would be great for him to come with. Just a skyscraper. Just chuck him in with a skyscraper he climbs. You could have some animations with him like attempting to climb the skyscraper. Some funny little quest lines here and there. I think he'd be a great character all around. Number 41 is Bob Arnold. Of course, this guy is like the sleazy DC politician that Lisa sort of exposes near the end of the episode. Lisa Goes to Washington. I don't know. I think he's a great sort of mini villain, I guess. So he'd be a great character to chuck in there. Plus, if they wanted to do like a politics event, he'd be perfect for that. So yeah, lots of reasons, lots of ways they could add him for sure. And I think he'd be a great addition. Number 40 is Clancy Bouvier. I probably would put this one a bit higher. Of course, this is Marge's dad. Pretty significant character that they haven't added yet. It's kind of bizarre that he's not in the game yet, but definitely for sure should be added now. Number 39 is Beatrice Simmons. This is kind of Grandpa's girlfriend. I think it's season 2. In season 2? Was it season... I think it's season 2. And of course she dies like halfway through the episode, and then like Grandpa sort of is like, I guess, like, wanting to do, was wondering what to do with the money that she left him. And yeah, I think she was a really sweet character. Definitely would like her to see her in the game. I think the fact she's dead should not stop us. We should still get her in the game. So that's B, aka Beatrice Simmons. Number 38 is Myra. This is like Skinner's assistant. But I don't know. I think the sort of relationship with her and Bart, I think, is kind of quirky and funny. So I would like her in the game. Doug the cameraman, bear in mind, we're on the top 40 now. I have gone through these ones before, or most of these before, so I'm going to try and zip through these as quick as possible. Doug the cameraman, obviously he's just this cameraman. He shows up a lot, and he's the cameraman for like loads of different companies. He's kind of like the wise guy of camera people. So yeah, be cool to get. Gollum of Prague would be a great Treehouse of Horror character. Very surprising they haven't added him yet. Cowboy Bob, obviously a season 1 character. Bob's Roundup would be a perfect thing for him to come with. If he were to do some sort of like RV event, he could come there. Yeah, definitely would like him in the game a lot. J. Loren Pryor, of course, the Springfield Elementary psychiatrist. Pretty significant character, should really be added. Mrs. Albright, the Sunday school teacher, definitely would like her. Cora, of course, she runs Cora's Diner. Perfect building for her to come with. She's kind of like this sarcastic, no-nonsense type of person, so could be an interesting questline there. Mr. and Mrs. Vanderbilt, these are the two sort of aristocrats of Springfield. Obviously, Mrs. Vanderbilt is known for faithing a lot. Mr. Vanderbilt is not as significant as a character. However, I think both of them should be added in the game. Mrs. Vanderbilt more, though. Lena Fontaine, of course, very, very big character. Very surprised they haven't added her yet. I'm hoping this is her year. Springfield Playhouse, I don't think that's been added yet, would be the perfect building for her to come with. The Cracker Factory Man, of course, this is Luann's dad, kind of. Yes, maybe, who knows? We're not too sure. Very fun character. He only really appears in one episode, but his appearance is very significant, and the game has like teased him so hard that at this point, the fact that he's only a 1 episode character, I don't care. I want this guy in the game so badly. Jake, of course, who runs Jake's Hair Jake's Hair Palace, or is it Place? I forget. Palace or Place, whichever one it is. The unisex hat, I think it's Place. Anyway, his store is in the game already. Why the hell is Jake not in the game? So, of course, I wanted to be chucked in the game for that reason. Although I do think he's kind of a funny little minor character. Flybar, another great Treehouse of Horror character. This one should be a character, and because the fly's head is controlling Bart's body, so this one makes sense as a proper character, because it is technically a separate character. So yeah, I definitely want Flybar in the game. Again, so weird that they haven't added him yet. Steve Mobs, of course, the ruler of Maple. Very weird that we haven't got him, considering we got the Mapple's HQ, we got Mapple's store, we got so much Maple stuff. Very odd that we haven't got Steve Mobs yet, so he definitely should be added. State Comptroller Atkins, this is the sort of head of Chalmers. He's like Chalmers' boss, so definitely would be cool to get him. Maybe they could do something really interesting with that kind of dynamic there. Emma, aka Senora Bumblebee Man. This is Bumblebee Man's wife / ex-wife, who knows at this point. Yeah, she's like a veteran background character, so definitely would be cool to get her in the game. John, oh please John. John is of course, voiced by John Waters, and I haven't thought about this before, but that might be the reason, because the character's called John, and he's voiced by John Waters, and he kind of like, apart from being a store clerk, he's like exactly like John Waters. Maybe the reason why we haven't got John is like he's kind of too much in the likeness of John Waters. I hope that's not the reason, because that would be such a shame not to get John. But yeah, John is the best, like the one gay character I really, really want, and I'm so sad that we haven't got him yet, because I definitely think he'd just be great for the game. So for me, I really do hope that when we have a Pride event, we get this guy again, or we get this guy for the first time, not again. Just Stamp the Ticket Man, the meme character, everyone wants him, not really much more to say. Yeah, sure. He's my number 22. Number 21 is Email. He's one of the Super Friends. We've got most of them, but we haven't got Email and we haven't got Ham. So both of them are pretty significant, and I think they should add them both. Charlie is number 19, of course. A veteran nuclear power plant worker. He's had like lines and little snippets in the past that he's done, so I think he is very significant. Very odd that we haven't got him yet. Jaffe is number 18. He's just a school kid who shows up a lot, and he kind of, hanging with Bart or hanging with like other people. I think he's significant enough. He's one I see a lot, as well as Richard and Lewis and all that. But I see him a lot, so I think he's pretty significant to add, for me at least. So that's 18, Jaffe. Number 17 is Alex Whitney. Of course, she only really appears in that, well, her debut appearance is the biggest one, the Lord of the Dance. And I think she's pretty cool. She's kind of like almost like a mean girl type, where she's not really directly cruel to Lisa, but kind of her attitude kind of ostracizes Lisa. So yeah, I think she'd be great to add, and they could do something with that whole dynamic. Bashir bin Laden's number 16. I really like the episode he appears in. I think it's a really good episode, so I'd like to see Bashir in the game. It's a shame they haven't done more with his character and his family in the sort of more recent Simpsons episodes. Number 15 is the 7 Duffs. I'm going to be real quick about this. There is more than 7 Duffs. There is like 10 Duffs. But for the main 7 Duffs, at the very least, I would like them to be added as either a 7-in-1 character, which may be too ridiculous, or just all as separate characters. Or I will even settle with just making Surly Duff a full playable character and making the rest NPCs. I'd be fine with that. I do think Surly deserves to have a full set of tasks, but you could just make the rest NPCs, and I'd be happy enough with that. But I do think they should be added as, like, at least Surly should be added as a full playable character, and the rest should be added as, like, either NPCs or full playable, or like a 3-in-1 or some shit like that. I'm not happy enough with the plants. I know we have them added as, like, little Krusty Land plants. I don't like that. No, I want them as proper characters. The Weasels are 14. These are like Nelson's little assistants. They appear in like earlier seasons, although they do make an appearance in a more later season where it's kind of revealed they moved to Shelbyville. So yeah, could be cool to get these two as a 2-in-1. I think they'd be pretty cool for like a bully event or something, so they would work. Barry McElberry, main reason why I really want this guy in the game. He's of course Sherry and Terry's father, so very significant character, I want him in the game badly. And same with Martin Prince Sr. We've got Martha Prince, we've got Martin Prince. I want Martin Prince Sr. I want to complete that family category. Sarah Salone, or Salone, wherever it is, Salan, is 11. This is, of course, Ned Flanders' girlfriend, for a little bit anyway. Yeah, I actually really like her character. I think it's a really cool episode, and I think she's one of the more significant sort of love interest characters that we've had in the show. So I would like her to be added as a full playable character. Larry Burns is number 10, of course, Mr. Burns' son. He only really appears in that one episode, but I think he's very significant and should definitely be added in the game. It's a travesty, I say, that he's not been added thus far. Number 9 is Sylvia Winfield and Mr. Winfield. These are two characters that just flat out got retired. But I don't know, there's something about them. I really like them. I think they're kind of quirky. They used to live in the Brown house, or did they? Well, they lived down the street, across the street, and next door. So they lived in like all different houses. But yeah, they moved out of the Brown house, and then Ruth Powers moved in. But I think, yeah, I want them in the game. I think it'd be cool to have them both. So yeah. Number 8 is George Bush Sr. This is like the most unlikely one, I guess, but George Bush Sr., he is dead now. I don't mean to be like, he's dead, we can add him. But they tend to add like dead presidents. Now I do think they will probably leave it a little bit longer, but he has been dead now for like what, 2 years, or maybe even longer. I forget exactly when he died. But they only tend to add dead presidents. I just think George Bush Sr. is the most significant president within The Simpsons, and for that reason would be the best president to be added. The stuff with him and Homer could be really, could be an interesting angle. They could do something with that. Maybe they could have like a whole like rivalry between them, like a whole quest line with that. And yeah, for me, I really want George Bush Sr. added in the game. I think he's pretty important to be thrown in. A 4th of July update would be great. And they could always add him in and be respectful. Put the politics aside and be like, yeah, this guy, you might not agree with everything, but he's still a human being. And yeah, let's be nice, let's be civil. Number 7 is Bill and Marty. I think these two should be added as a 2-in-1. Of course, these are the guys that run KBBL. We've already got KBBL in the game, so we really do need Bill and Marty. Not much more to say. Want them in the game. Number 6 is Richard. I've been through this so many times. Very significant child who's appeared a lot. We've got Lewis. Lewis and Richard tend to be like best friends, or they're seen to be like really good friends. So the fact we haven't got Richard is a travesty. Hashtag add Richard to TSTO. We definitely need him. Number 5 for me is Apu's Octuplets. Now, yes, they are in the game in form of an animation, but I do think they should be added as full playable characters. I do think an 8-in-1 might be crazy, but I would like to see them as an 8-in-1 character. I don't think individually they're significant enough to be each like separate characters. Plus, that would just be like a pain in the ass because there'd be so many. There's 8 of them, so there'd be a lot of them. I think an 8-in-1 character, it'd be crazy, but I definitely think it's doable, and it could be a really cool way to add Apu's kids. Although with all the Apu-related characters, I feel like they've just abandoned them all in the show, so who knows. Number 4 is Eddie Muntz, aka Mr. Muntz, aka Nelson's dad. This guy, I definitely think would be very cool well, I really want this guy. Missed opportunity, circus update. Why the hell was he not added in the circus update? For me, there's something about him. I really like the whole story with him and Nelson. I think Eddie Muntz is just such a cool guy. I want him in the game, okay? I don't care. For me, he's just a character I really like, so I really want to see him be added into Tapped Out. So he's my number 4. Number 3 is Gil. Yes, he's in the game in form of Gil's Deals. However, he's never been a full playable character, even though at one point they were definitely planning to add him as a full playable character. So I think he'd be a perfect sort of end goal character if they were ever to end like updates. He'd be like the character you could end it with and chuck him in there. Although, honestly, a Christmas update would be great. Or like a Christmas update based on Gil, which is one of my Christmas ideas I did last year. I think that would actually be a really sweet way of adding Gil to the game, the whole Gil Christmas thing. I think that would work, the Gil Gunderson Christmas thing. Have an event based on this guy to add him to the game, to celebrate that. Similar to what they did with Maggie, when they first added Maggie to the game in that Christmas update all those years ago. They kind of based that entire update around Maggie and gave us Maggie. I think Gil, they could do the same thing. Base the whole update around Gil. I don't like Gil in The Simpsons, but I think as a Tapped Out character, he's become significantly significant. Significantly significant. That's a funny way to say it. But, he's become very relevant. And so, I would be happy for them to do a full-on Gil update. Number 2 is Maud Flanders. Of course, I want her as a proper human version. And with all the doppelgangers and stuff we've been getting in the past, I would not be happy at this point with her to be a costume for the Ghost mod. We've got Ghost mod in the game. That's fine. Let's have a human mod. Let's have human mod in the game as a proper, full-on playable character. Please. I think it's a travesty that we have not got Maud Flanders yet. And for me, she's going to remain my number 2 for a while. She's kind of my number 1 because my number 1 is never going to happen. So for argument's sake, let's just say she is number 1, Maud Flanders. But my real number 1 is Lionel Hutz, Troy McClure, and Lyle Lanley. Now, Lyle Lanley did make a brief appearance, however, he was never added as a full playable character, and Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz will never be added in the game, and Lyle Lanley as well. They'll never be added. The main reason why these 3 will never be added is because when Phil Hartman was murdered, the Simpsons kind of made an executive decision to not sort of retire his characters and not recast them or anything like that. Now, although Lionel Hutz, Troy McClure, Lyle Lanley, they make cameo appearances here and there in the background, I think that's to the extent that's like the furthest they'll go with these characters. It's a shame. I still would like them to be added. They are my number one in like really. However, I realize they probably won't be added. It's a real shame because I think these three, especially these two, Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz, they are the two biggest characters in from The Simpsons yet to be added to Tapped Out. So for me, I really badly want them. I don't know. I don't think it's disrespectful if they were to add them. Just don't have them be voiced by, obviously Phil Hartman's dead, so don't have them be voiced. Maybe even do like a nice little, you can even do something to reflect on Phil Hartman if you want. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I just really want them in the game. And then as a bonus, Bender. Why not? Bender was, of course, originally meant to be added into the game in the Simpsorama tie-in episode, where they ended up just adding Matt Groening instead. But it would be cool to get Bender in the game, for sure. But I feel like because of Futurama Worlds of Tomorrow, that's never going to happen. But I just thought I'd add him as a bonus, because Bender used to be on my list, like, years ago, because I thought maybe there was a slim chance we could get him. Now I realise there is no chance we're getting him. But, you know, I chuck him in as the bonus one. But anyway, that is 100 characters I think they should add to Tapped Out. I'm not going to go through the list again because I'd be here longer. I think I've been here a while already and I can barely talk any longer. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe give me any I've missed. If there's more that you definitely want to see, please let me know. Like I said, it's every possibility there's a character I would want more than say, there's a character I want more than Marvin Monroe, right? But Mervyn Monroe. There's a character I want more than Mervyn Monroe, but like I might have forgot that character. But there's a lot of characters to remember, so there you have it. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh God. Next year I'll do top 200. Oh, actually, yeah. Wait. This is before I go. Yeah, next year I'll do top 200 if they don't add at least 25 of these characters by this time next year, okay? If they don't add at least 25 of these characters this time next year, I'll do top 200. See you next year.